All right, Nora, this is one of my favorite topics. Influencers sometimes come in a moment, sometimes they come in a lifetime. When I speak a lot, I talk about my grandfather was one of my first real influencers, and him, my grandmother, my mom, and aunt, they emigrated from Kyiv to Canada, years ago, and decades ago. And see, anyway, he used to take me for walks in the park in Montreal when I was 5. And one day I asked him, I said, Zeta, that's what I call him. How do you know all these people? Because he talked to everybody, which is I know where I got the gene from now, but for everybody. And he said to me, "You see this guy coming for to us?" He said, "I smiled at him once, and he looked at me and smiled back and came over, and we started laughing. And then another person came and did it. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was amazing to me. I remember my 5-year-old brain literally saying, "Life's going to be great. I just have to smile." And we
Oh,
talked about remembering things as a kid. You might
yeah,
not even know it at the time,
yeah,
but I remember, and it's still true. A
yeah.
smile can affect physiologically, psychologically, everything at the right moment. So we all have lots of influencers, but can you share two or three that have been influential in your life?
My goodness, I love that. You're gonna make me cry. I can't even, I'm not gonna make it through one. I love that. I think, yeah, my mom, and my dad for sure. And I've been spending more and more time in Minnesota. And so I think that they're even, when we didn't have a lot growing up, like they are so generous. They are the most generous people that I know. Even my dad, he's been having some hard challenges, but he was like my cousin came over and he's helping him teach him how to change the oil in his car. Like, even though my dad, I was like, Dad, you should not be in the garage right now. Like, but he was like, and my mom's like, blessing someone in line at the grocery store, or like, they're just like kind, generous people, but it's a daily practice for them. And that's like really beautiful to see them demonstrate generosity and then to teach my kids generosity. And so I think
That's
my
awesome.
parents like were such modelers of living a daily generous life and giving back on the daily. And I would say also my boss, Sri Artham, he he gave me a chance when I bought a one-way ticket to California, and he gave me a job, and he taught me so much about being strategic, about communication, about leadership, about laughing and having fun while you change the world,
Yeah.
and
We need,
about
need more
you know
laughing.
yeah, taught me about ABC, always be closing, like practical sales the tools to, and how to be a really great friend. And so Sri Artham was huge. And then I think I wouldn't have my dream job if it wasn't for Andrew Dietz, Eat Real's vice chair, who saw me in action and told me about Eat Real and recruited me as the CEO and became a co-founder. And he continues to be an incredible regular guide for me. And so he, saw something in me, even though I had never been a CEO, and it was like made a bet on my passion and my drive. And so I would say those are four people that I like my parents early on, one of my first bosses, and then our vice chair that guided me and demonstrated how to be generous, how to be a strong leader, how to unlock my full potential.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that because a lot of times we don't know we're influencing people. Teachers get that a lot,
Yeah.
but you have a choice to be positive or negative because you could go
Yep.
either way. And I think it's so important what you said about we look too often at titles and categories of people and things to define
Mhm.
them. And even athletes that we're talking to don't want to be defined just as athletes. They
Yeah.
want more. And you got to look at who that person is and what can happen. You always have to be a CEO the first time, sometime.
Hmm.
You don't start at the second and then do
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to
So,
take chances, and you have to take chances on people, and you have to give people chances.
and
So,
that's so much fun and so
yeah.
fantastic to do that because
Yeah.
you see a person blossoming. You give somebody a chance like that. We always say that the best coaches, the best parents, the best bosses are the ones that when the person, the employee, the player, the kid makes a mistake, they want to hear it straight from you, what they did right or wrong or whatnot, and have the confidence to put them back in the game or
Yeah.
in life. And if you do that, the ROI and the loyalty is bam all over the place. And so good for them and good for you. And thanks for sharing about them.
Thank you.